Tazria. Yedaber Hashem al Moshe Lemor. Daber el bnei Yisrael Lemor Isha ki Tazria. A woman who conceives the older Zohar, and she gives birth to a male, Vitomo Shivas Yomim. Right after the birth, the Gemara explains whether there's blood during the birth, dry birth, there's blood or no blood. She's Toma Shivas Yomim. She's contaminated for 7 days. K'mei Nidas Dvosa Titmo. Equivalent of the Nida, when she has the flow, she's contaminated. Rashi, Isha Ki Tazria. In the previous parsha in Shmini, we spoke about the different species, the kosher species, non-kosher species, whether it's the animal, the fish, insects, various things. Just as the creation or the formation of all animal, domesticated, undomesticated, birds, preceded man in Masa Bereshis, identically, in terms of the order, the sequential order, the laws which pertain to the person follow the laws which we spoke regarding the species themselves. Kisazria, Chazal, it's a medrash. This is not a Gemara. This is not a Gemara. No. No. Take it in parentheses, V'yikro. It's a medrash non Tchuma too. V'yikro Rabba. It's in medrash non Tchuma. Kisazria, the Rabba Safi Larato Mochui. That even if the child doesn't come out physically formed, he's totally liquefied. Shenimcha v'nesa kein zera. He was nimcha. He was liquefied, and he's like seed. Imot me'aledo. The mother's contaminated. Kimedi disvosa titbo. Keseder kol tumas tuma hamura benido. Betama b'tumas leido afilu niftach hakev dam. Even if normally, Mora says ein psifas kev dam. Whenever the uterus contracts, there's always some degree of blood. But here, even if there's no blood, it doesn't make a difference. The birth itself causes the contamination. Dvosa loshen davar azob migufa. Dvosa is something which flows. Loshen acher, loshen mad v'choli. Means something like illness. Shein isha roi dam shel techla rosha ve'verek feidon le. When a woman, she begins menstruating, she feels slightly ill. She feels a certain heaviness, her head, headache. So therefore, that's the comedian needs dvosa. So over here, there's Orach Chaim HaKodesh. He points out, we speak about Isha Ki Tazria. What do we have to speak about? The conception. Tazria is the conception. We say Isha Ki Olda Zohar, V'toma Shivas Yomim. Right? What's relevance does it have to the conception? Right? So Chazal tell us, Isha Mazriya Tchili Olda Zohar. But I'm saying, but in the simple understanding, what relevance does if we want to speak about the contamination starts from time of birth. A woman who gives birth to a male, the extent of the contamination is 7 days. That's what it should say. So he explains over here that factually that the gender is already set from time of conception. Isha Ki Tazria. Now there's a gestation period where it has to develop the fetus to be a male or a female. So that everything is determined by the Tazria, by the conception. He speaks about other things in terms of what kind of neshama goes into the child. The neshama goes in the time of conception, and as a result of that, we have to go in Sanhedrin. The quality of the neshama depends on the level of the spiritual level of the parents. The more worthy they are at that time, it will be a more special neshama. The less worthy they are, then the person has a certain thought, which is not a proper thought, cites over there a certain whatever. Exactly. Ki Tazria. Okay? Here with Rashi says, Afilu yilarto mochui, right? Kisazria, the Rabsha, even if it was born mochi means liquefied. Shenimcha, still, isha tmeya leido. No, it has to. No, it has to do with the consistency, and that's the Gemara in Brochus. David would actually he would evaluate it. He would dirty his hands with the blood of the shvir v'shilvia, the placenta, and check the fluid inside. What exactly the color, the texture, all these things would determine whether it was a child and was liquefied, or just a sack of fluid, which would determine whether the woman is considered a child to make a tamei or not. Over here, the Devalaturim, he says, Tamei shivas yomim, chen zayim me'avelus, kluma shebo ken yelech. Just as when the child comes into existence, the mother's contaminated 7 days. Identically, we find 7 days of avelus. When the child leaves, the person dies. It's also 7. Even though what does avelus have to do with tumah? I mean, there's no relevance. Okay, seemingly, well, what's the connection? V'chein zayin yimei avelus, kilumaz shebo ken yelech. Okay, I think I'm asking a more basic question. You're asking how do you understand the female? I'm trying to understand the male.
7 and 7, maybe.
Okay, 7. Yeah. I understand that, but it's a different tumah. The tumah here is coming into existence. Why should she be tameya? It's not because she's a nida. She's called a yoledis. The what? But afterwards, even if she continues to menstruate for 33 days, she's pure. So what's she complaining about? Okay. So if you take a look into what's his name, Sforno explains it. Of course, the whole idea of Tumah V'Tara has to do with one's mindset. You focus on Hashem. You connected, that's purity. You disconnect, that's impurity. Because a woman, when she gives birth, she's so consumed with her own issues, her reproductive, the whole system. Therefore, that's a detachment. And that detachment causes the contamination. That's the Sforno how he explains it. Well, that's because a woman's in danger. But here, it's not even the question of the danger. A woman is totally consumed with the birth process. And it takes her for about 7 days to get back to herself. You know, is she going to stop bleeding? She's not going to stop bleeding. A woman can hemorrhage at time of birth, right? So all these things causes a detachment. That detachment is attachment from Hashem, from purity. Therefore, that causes tumah. Whenever there's a void, a vacuum, that's contamination. He says it's somewhere over here. Here he says something else. Go ahead. You want to say something, Howard?
Because I think that when he's born into tummy, because we should never believe that we're holy like that, that we have to work at it. It's not a gift that we're not we shouldn't think that we're something that's special. That we have
No,
to
but it's
work
not the child's tummy, the mother's tummy.
I'm saying that she shouldn't think that the process is bringing in something beyond tummy, that you have to work at becoming back to couple, that we're born in a certain way, and we have to work our way out of it.
Okay? Many messages you could draw from this. Okay? Also, on the 8th day, you will circumcise the flesh of his foreskin. Okay, let's see the Maral.
You have an answer to the question as to
What?
why